Hey everybody, welcome to a quick shot on the Martinis with Scott channel. A quick shot is where I try to explain a technical topic or a thought related to leadership, business, finance, something along those lines to help you with your business. Remember, Martinis with Scott is a show about winning momentum in life and in business, and that's what these technical topics are about. I try to do that in somewhere in the range of 5 to 10 minutes. I used to say 5 minutes or less, but that didn't ever work out for me. So I've changed the rules. So here we are. So today we're going to talk about the habit loop and how that relates to your business. And I know what you're saying. You're saying, Scott, the habit loop is a personal thing. Well, I'm here to tell you, you need to understand it to affect change and culture and to improve your business as well. Let's review what it is at a personal, in your personal life, personal habits. You can look this up in any habit book, self-help book. You're always going to see the same thing, maybe with some different words. Cue, routine, reward brings you back to cue. That's the loop. Cue, routine, reward. Let me give an example. I'll use one from my life. If you're a young professional, I know we have young professionals, even finance students that listen to this show a lot, both in the US and in Canada. If you're going to head out to the investment banking world, corporate finance, even the accounting firms or the legal side is the same. You're going to experience this and you need to watch out for it. And this is why I know this so well. The cue is you've been in your office all day and it's 4 to 5 p.m. and you're getting a little low on energy because you haven't been eating well and you're not sleeping, obviously, because you're a young professional. You're stressed, same reasons. You have no life balance, work-life balance, right? And because of that, you have really no human relationships. You're not spending time with your family. You don't have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. And if you do, you're not spending enough time with them. And so you're not having any fun in your life. And so this is the cue. The cue is around 4 or 5. I'm starting to get a little tired. Or you as a professional, young professional, you start to get a little tired. You're not performing well. You're a little stressed. You're just like, oh, I'm kind of dead. I love my job, but I'm kind of dead at the moment. What's the routine? Meet at the bar for drinks. There's a reason this show is called Martinis with Scott. You meet at the bar for drinks, you go for a bunch of martinis for a couple of hours, and then what do? Well, you go back to work after, and so you leave around 5, you have a couple of drinks, you're done by 7, 7:30, maybe you have some snacks, and you go back to work till midnight, 2 in the morning, sort of whatever your gig is there. And that's your routine. What's your reward? What do you get out of that? Well, you had some drinks, so you get a sugar rush, so that means you got some short-term energy, makes you feel a little better. You've had some fun because you like your buddies that you're out drinking with. You had a good conversation. You have a sense of belonging because even if you work in different firms, you're all from the same street. So I grew up on Bay Street, right? Doesn't matter if you're on Wall Street or in Midtown or somewhere in downtown Miami or in LA, wherever you are, it's the same deal. You've got a bunch of peers, and people below you, people ahead of you, but a bunch of peers, and you have a sense of belonging with them. You're sharing more stories, you're shooting the shit, so to speak. And here's the big one, is you get to call it work. You get to say, yeah, I'm working, I'm out having drinks with these guys, it's really important. I'm looking at my watch because I've been drinking with them for an hour in my hypothetical story. I'm out drinking with these guys. It's really important. And if I don't drink with them, I'm missing out. You have a tremendous sense. This was a big one for me. A tremendous sense of missing out on what's going on in your world on the street that you happen to be trying to be successful on. If you don't do this, you feel like you're missing out, which, by the way, for you young professionals is complete crap. You're not missing out on anything. All right, so that's what you do about it. Here, the routine is what you do about it. You go out for drinks. There's reward you get, which dealt with the cues of not having a group to belong to, not having any fun, getting tired towards the late afternoon, and so the reward makes you feel good. So next time it's reinforced. Next time you have those same cues, which by the way is tomorrow. You had a system that dealt with that, and it creates this habit loop. Okay, makes sense? That's what it is. Now, how do you change that habit loop? What if you want to break that? What if you don't want to be a 40-year-old drunk, making lots of money, but doing inappropriate things and becoming unhealthy? That was always my biggest fear in my 20s. How do you change that? Well, one way, you've always read this, you've heard about people, if you're addicted to drugs, if you're addicted to alcohol, other substance abuse, one way to deal with that is to get rid of the cue. That's why they tell you don't hang out with those friends anymore. Right? Hang out with a different group. Get rid of the cue. Now it doesn't trigger this whole habit. Change your friends, you're good to go, more than likely. Or change the routine, but have a different reward, but have the same or equal reward. In other words, try to find another routine apart from going for martinis with your buddies that provides you with some energy, provides you with some fun, provides you with a sense of belonging, and it doesn't make you feel like you're missing out on work. Okay, so, and those are your only two options. Change the cue, change the routine with an equal or better reward. Okay, and so what would changing the routine be? Well, we changed the cue. COVID changed the cue. Nobody's going out for drinks anymore. Nobody's meeting up at the bars on Bay Street or in Midtown for martinis, really. So we started doing Zoom drinks, me and my buddies, when this happened. And, you know, that lasted, we were doing it once a week, and it lasted maybe 4 or 5 weeks. And then it just kind of got boring and we stopped. It just kind of fizzled out, but it bridged that gap for us. It gave us the fun and the belonging, and it gave us all of these rewards. We drank a lot less. You know, I'd have, you know, 1 martini instead of 4 at the bar. And so that was interesting how we changed that cue, but it wasn't the same as being together. And the whole thing just kind of fell apart because COVID took over, and that broke the whole cue. By the way, we're not in the office at 4 or 5. That's a big part of why it broke the cue. You could replace drinks with exercise or sport, particularly, you know, going out for a jog for yourself may not be the answer, but if you're looking for belonging, but you could join a gym, you could join a sports league of some sort. See how I'm doing on timing here. You could join a sport league of some sort. And sorry, my phone's not logging in, so I have no idea how much time we've been. You could get into a relationship and take that serious with a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, your family, your kids. Changes your routine, gives you similar rewards. Now, how is that relevant? So that's personal. How is that relevant to a business? Well, I'm here to tell you that if you want to change behavior within your business, within your company, within your organization, you need to understand this habit loop, because it's the exact same in a business. And the habit in a business is, if by another word, in a business is process, it's procedures, it's systems, it's how your company, your employees as a group, individually and as a group, it's how they react to a trigger or a cue. And those procedures, systems, and policies, processes, they exist whether you tell them or the employees what to do or not, whether you write them down or not, whether you teach them how to react to these triggers or not. These exist because the habit loop is real and it exists. So in a business, I like to think of it as a trigger, which is just a cue, okay? And I'm gonna give you an example here. So I worked on a company turnaround where the trigger that I identified is the production line shut down. You know, we were supposed to make 100 widgets today, and about 60 widgets in, we shut down. Why would we shut down? Could have been a labor shortage, could have been a material shortage, could have been a maintenance issue, could have been bad planning, could have been a million things, okay? But we shut down. What was the response of the employees in this troubled business? They would hide, and they would blame each other. In other words, hide, I mean literally hide, go off and clean up the floor or do something else as a laborer, instead of standing there and trying to figure out the problem with your teammates. They would blame others. The materials guy didn't bring the materials. No one told me from scheduling that I was supposed to bring the materials. Scheduling didn't know from marketing what needed to be done that day, and so they did their best. And also, they didn't know what materials existed, so they just scheduled what they thought they were going to. It just becomes this circular issue where they blame others. What is the reward? Well, nobody gets fired and nobody gets reprimanded, all right? So you don't get, because it's a big deal when the production plant shuts down. That production plant shuts down, ownership is going to lose $50,000 to $100,000 out of their pocket, okay? That day. So you don't get reprimanded, you don't get fired. That's the reward by hiding and blaming others. You feel pretty good. I didn't get reprimanded, I didn't get fired. Next time the plant shuts down, you go through the same process, okay? So the same habit loop exists in companies as it does in the personal life, except here's the thing. You can't change the trigger. You can't say, well, I'm just going to get away from those guys who bother me, right? If you've got substance abuse, they don't really bother me, but they're a bad influence. Well, you can't say, I'm just going to pretend that my plant shutting down is not a trigger. You can't change the trigger. So what else can you do? Well, you got to focus on a new response, a new routine that generates the same or a better reward. So what did I do? I turned this into an opportunity. Plant shuts down, that's an opportunity. What do you mean an opportunity? It's an opportunity for the employees to say, not hide or blame each other, but to literally, through a process that was formalized, say, here's why it shut down, here was the cause of it, and here's what I can do with either alone or with my teammates to fix that problem so it doesn't happen again, okay? And when they do that, not only were they not fired and they were not reprimanded, but we had team meetings once a week where we clapped hands for them. They got a $25 gift certificate, I think at a food store, okay? Or like something, I forget what it was for, but they got a reward. So it was even like a literal gift card reward, which was even better than what they were getting before, which made them feel good. All of a sudden, this disastrous thing of the plant shutting down became an opportunity for them to be heroes, right? Literally, to come up with a solution, to get the solution implemented, and to be recognized for it, and to get some extra payment. And this works like a charm. If you want to change culture, if you want to change your business, you have two choices. One is you can sit there every single day with a list of 800 things and say to people, do this, not that, do this, not that, which is like telling you, you need to stop drinking, you need to stop drinking, you need to stop drinking. Is that going to work? Maybe it'll eventually work, but what you really need to do is break the habit loop, and you need to break I call it empowering the employees, but your way to do that, change the response, give the routine, give an equal or even better reward. Here's how I turned a negative to a positive, and it was tremendously successful. What else did I have on this one? I think change behavior, create new response. Yep, that's it. I've covered everything. You understand this, you're going to be able to affect change, and you're going to be able to change culture. Thank you for listening. Been a quick shot on the Martinis with Scott channel.